Hello, everyone. Today is the 7th of May, 2025, 2025, and today is a big day because the conclave is meeting today for the first time. I mean, the first vote will take place today. But you see a very handsome gentleman here on my right. I don't know whether it is your right or your left. His name is John Carter, and I'm going to introduce him to you. Perhaps I will actually let him introduce himself. But the reason why he's here is because when was it, John? About 2 weeks ago, perhaps even more or less. About two
That's
weeks
about right.
ago.
Two or
About
three
right,
weeks.
yes. I did a video on, I was talking about I don't know how it came into the conversation. I don't exactly remember which video it was, but I was talking about the influence of Freemasonry in the Catholic Church and Catholic countries and so on. And I had just one message, a negative one, saying, "I think you're obsessed" or something like that. And I didn't reply, but I want to emphasize the fact that this is real, that perhaps many of you in the English speaking world, that meaning a Protestant culture, you don't see it. But I can assure you that in Catholic countries, Catholic culturally, let's say even that is very, very real. That is how the Catholic Church has been attacked now for 2 centuries. And I don't think I am exaggerating. In other words, in order, all the problems that we had in Catholic countries, politically, for example, there is always a fault line, okay? In some countries, maybe, that people of two different religions, there are people of two or three different religions, and if you want to break that country, you start creating the circumstances where people fight one another on that issue. In other countries, it might be language. In other countries, it may be tribes. In other countries, it could be anything. In Catholic countries, it was always the attack to the Catholic Church. And so, for example, just to go to an example, the Spanish Civil War, for example, the fault line was one part against, one part defending the tradition of that country, its culture. And the other side, it was everybody else, the communists, the socialists, the fascists, the Republicans, the right wing liberals, the others. In other words, the fault line has always been to break that, if not religious, but cultural thing. So I am not exaggerating. If you were a citizen of these countries, you would know, everybody knows. Okay, so I think I was talking about that. It's not that I am obsessed with it, but in your own particular country, if they want to disunite you, it could be in terms of gender, it could be in terms of anything else. Okay, so that is to start. Anyway, I think I was talking about something like that. And John Carter here sent me sent me an email and some pictures, photographs that he took, and that is where, John, I'm sorry for this long introduction. I want to bring you in, and I'm very, very grateful that you got in touch with me and everything. Okay, I really appreciate it. Tell us first of all about yourself, and you will show us the photographs, but tell us the context. First of all, where are you? You're
Right now,
American.
I'm an American. I'm in Brazil right now.
Okay. I don't,
I'm married to a Brazilian.
okay. Okay. I don't know whether we have the video right. Could you, is there a way of putting it up a little bit? I can hear you. I can hear you sort of a little bit further away. Anyway, or bring the
Okay.
microphone closer. Anyway, okay. So you are an American. Now tell us about yourself. Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in southern Brazil. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And I spend half my time in Brazil and half my time in Texas, where I'm from. I'm from San Antonio originally, and I am Catholic, and I'm married to a girl who is Brazilian Catholic. Her dad's family were Spanish Catholic in Galicia. So I have that Spanish, Brazilian, Irish Catholic worldview, and, and living in a Protestant, or better yet, Judeo-Masonic country, United States. Um, my radar has really been turned on the last 10 years as to our reality and frankly the trap that we've been in since the founding of our country. And now it's coming to the head. It's coming to a head.
Oh, very much so. We'll talk about that a little bit. But so what are you doing in Brazil at the moment? So you live both in the United States and in Brazil. Is that it?
Yeah, we're ranchers. We're in the cattle
Okay.
business, and
Okay.
we ranch in Brazil in we have two different places, and in Texas.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah,
And you mentioned Galicia, which is northwestern Spain, where I come from. And perhaps that is what caught your, you say, oh, okay, Galicia. What do you know? Do you know anything about Galicia at all from your
I know that
background?
I know a lot because my father-in-law was a full-blooded Spaniard, and he was my mentor, someone I love very much. He passed away 4 years ago, but he was he was a very strong-willed man. My wife is very strong-willed, and I've been to Camagüelos, where his parents were from, and I was there too. Actually, when I went to Fatima, we went there. We also went to Spain, and I have a deep respect for Spain because of growing up in South Texas and the history of the Catholic Church that was it was waylaid by Freemasonic forces.
Yeah.
So I feel a kindred spirit. And when someone did comment to you that you were crazy, I said, I've got to come defend this lady. She's not crazy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So visiting Galicia, which is, if you can imagine the map on the above Portugal, as it were, then at one time you went to Fatima, yeah? And what did you find there? First of all, why did you go to Fatima?
That's a can of worms. But what I was doing in Brazil for 20 something years, it had me deeply involved with I say involved, not a part of the environmental movement, the global environmental movement. And I was shadowing it. A better way to say I was inside the belly of the beast. And what I saw, I started to question deeply, and I started pretty profound research that had me read over 350 books. And the last 100 have all been Catholic, written by uh, priests, bishops, Jesuits in the 1890s. A lot of stuff that I'm sure you've read too. So that then drove me to want to go to Fatima to go see hands-on, and also I felt very drawn to it because the environmental movement is the tip of the spear of eugenics and population control
Yes.
For what's going on. So I went. That's why we went there. We had a personal invitation from a friend who grew up there, and the second we actually went to the and did the trail and went to the apparition sites, etc. I immediately could pick up the fingerprints of the evil one. They're stamped everywhere. And so you can see that. Who's got eyes to see can see Freemasonry has pretty much overtaken the reverence of Fatima and put their ugly claws all over it. And at least that's my opinion.
Yes, it's just that people outside of these places do not fully realize it. They haven't lived it. We who lived in those places do know it. As a matter of fact, I was watching an interview with an architect, city planner in the city of Madrid about what he discovered, where all the signs are geometrically. I think I'm going to put it here because although it is in Spanish, the auto translation is very good. I checked it, and with punctuation and everything, so it's easily readable. And it explains and then he compares it to the city of Washington, D.C., and talks about it. And it's fascinating. So I will put it on the description box here the link. Okay, so even though it is in Spanish, it is easily readable. Okay, so let's go on. So you went to Fatima, you saw a few things there, and tell us more. What happened then?
So I think you just hit on an important point. Real estate, very valuable. You're not going to be allowed to go put a shrine or a monument on a certain spot in some place with such world recognition as Fatima, without big money backing you and in full within city government, state government, federal government, which means Masonic government. So when I was there, we were walking down the road to go into from the north, I guess the north side, to go up to the church and to the big plaza. And there was this heart, and I said, this is an ugly monstrosity, which of course is art since the 60s primarily. You have this stuff that really attacks reverence and piety and is an eyesore. And the heart was kind of broken, and it had Francisco written on it, and this tree growing up. And my initial reaction was, that looks like a weed growing out of a crack in the sidewalk. and and what it dawned on me when I saw this man on the
statue. It's totally out of place. In other words, it's
totally out of place. It was diabolic. I could immediately sense evil, red, and then it hit me. That's the Sacred Heart. That's the Sacred Heart that's broken. And there's a weed coming up through it, which is the tree of knowledge of good and evil, overtaking the tree of life. And the mocking that comes from Freemasonry and the Kabbalah was right there in my face. And there was a man facing downwards as if he were falling into hell. And I went up to the statue and told my wife, and I said, "Look here, look at the artist that did this." And I Googled it on my phone, and I found out the relationship with Freemasonry, with the lodge, and I don't remember the name of the town. And it just like clicked, said, "Here you go. They're planting their flag." And they dedicated the statue 100 years to the day, or not to the day, 100 years after 1917. So you've got the Bolshevik Revolution and Our Lady of Fatima, and then 100 years later, they're actually like sending a message. The new order is here. We have overtaken the old order. We are growing up through it. And the old order is dead, and the name Francisco completes the whole cycle of the takeover. That was my interpretation. We have killed the papacy. Of course, they can't kill our church, but that's the arrogance of darkness and mocking that they're doing. And it basically said to me is, here's our flag on the beach. We have won. And then you walk on further, and as you get into there, you see the new church they built, which is round. It's not the rectangular churches of old that faced east, where the priests face the altar and not face the people.
Yeah.
You go in there, then you see this nativity scene, which I had to struggle to understand it was a nativity scene because it was diabolic when I saw it. And I said, I just told my wife, all right, I got chills. And do you see this? She goes, oh, yes, I see it. So anyway,
that was in Fatima, John. That was in Fatima.
That was in Fatima, yes, with the one-eyed eye of Horus all over the place, even on the church, inside the old church. And it's like, okay, this makes me mad. It doesn't make me scared, it just makes me mad. Because you can tell that the church has been not infiltrated. There's an eclipse that's going through, and we're in that darkness right now. But for those who have eyes to see, it's irrefutable what's happening. So because there's a fight for territory on the temporal world, there's a fight for territory.
Yes.
If you live in the United States, you see it everywhere. It's certainly not Europe, with cathedrals being the center of society. It's the Freemasons Lodge across the street from the courthouse, with a statue of a woman on top, who's not our Blessed Lady. It's somebody else.
Yes.
So yeah.
Reason, I think. Okay, can you show us the photographs? Okay, I'm going to ask you, all our friends here, bear with us if we have a little glitch or something, but John is going to explain a few things. Just go ahead, take your time to upload. Don't worry if we have to wait a few seconds, John.
Okay.
Just do your
I
thing.
think
Yeah.
I think it's scary now. Do you see it? The black screen?
I have a black screen here.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
So
Global, yeah.
I won't spend much time on this, but just for any people who have doubts, I just offer encouragement that the more you study and the more you delve into this, the more that it's going to reveal itself. And this slide's a culmination of about 8 years, 350 books that I was trying to understand what was happening in Brazil with the environmental movement, and it kind of opened up the whole can of worms. And I won't spend any more time on this because this is not the purpose of this. But just to back up what I'm about to say is that this slide right here shows at the top the pyramid. Can you see the pyramid right here?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you've got on the left Amazon Watch with the one eye.
Yes.
And on the right, World Wildlife Fund. And this is just a group of logos that I started to pay attention to in my world. Population Council, you see that logo, and then you see this logo here. You see this circle with the bar underneath it, Conservation International, Jeffrey Scholes Foundation. And you got this over here. Then you have the chevrons from Exxon to Chevron, World Resources Institute, founded by the Rockefellers.
Yes.
And then you got the triangle with the known yogurt, dairy, and on the right you've got the sun logo. So there's continuity with branding across the world with these multinationals. Any company over 50 million, you're going to find Masonic's fingerprints on it, and it's because it goes through the top ad firm from New York. And so their people are always suggesting these types of logos, of course, and that's how it spreads itself. So if you look at red and white and blue being the lower level masonry, red being high level masonry. Look at all the old companies that branched off from Standard Oil. And then you go to see these symbolisms from Gmail. You've got the Freemasonic sign there, to the 666 on Google Chrome. So a lot of people know this already, but I just want to throw out this to kind of prep the battlefield for the next slide. This is within about 100 yards of me where I am now. It's where my wife went to school, and I have studied it, and I think I would like help and feedback for people to tell me that whether I'm right or wrong. That this used to be the Eye of Providence, and then it was certainly used in the Catholic Church in the Middle Ages. But when you build something in the 1960s and 70s, I don't think that that's the reason they're putting it on there. I think it's there because they're branding. So you've got it here on the crucifix, and you got it over here in the Adoration Chapel, which I just have to say it's hard to look at that, knowing what we know today. I think it's mocking us. And then here, the next slide, we're going to Fatima. There's a foggy day walking down the street, and there's the heart. There's the break in it. There's the way that it's structured. There's the wooden cross, and there is the tree coming up through the cross. Now you could say, well, that's the tree of life that represents Jesus. Well, that's the first time in Catholic history that's ever been represented that way. Crucifix, Christ on the cross, not a tree. Yeah. And it's growing up through it. It's growing up just like a fig tree would, overtaking the old and killing it. And it has no leaves on it. And it's a tree of, so you could call it the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or the tree of death. And you can see right here in the dark, there's that man, which is blown up on the right, facing down, naked, almost as if he's in a fast walk or a free fall to hell. And then over here is the sculptor from Coimbra, a progressiva, Agueda. And you research these groups and these people, and I've researched Fernando Crespo and found a lot of his other sculptures that he's done that were in synagogues, Freemasonic lodges. So there's no doubt that that's who put this here.
And this is in Fatima, you say?
This is in Fatima, within 300, 400 yards from the new church in Fatima. That's opposite the plaza from where the old church is. And right here, you can see Francisco, and the day it was dedicated, 2017. Now, that's not a coincidence.
No.
That's the flag on the beach. We have taken it over, and you have lost. That's a statement. And that took a lot of political pull to put that right on that main walkway going to Fatima, where thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of people walk. They all see it. And then you go
and that man is in the picture on the right here is the one. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I kind of like to get some C4 plastic explosive and blow it up, but I can't do that. But to go on the next slide is on the wall of the church, the new church. Now, pardon me. There's a target. There's a cross. Not really, because that's not a crucifix cross. That's just a plus sign, but it's also an eye. And if you look at the top, it says Fatima in the pastoral year 2021, 2022. Get up.
Levántate, arise.
Es testemunha do que viste, whatever.
Give witness to what you have seen, something like that.
That's right now. And you're witnessing this next picture. There you go. So that's highlighted to the, I guess, west or in the old church and the new church, the old reverent, blessed, beautiful structure, and the new horrid, communistic, ugly, brick, concrete. You have this, and this is blasted on the wall. That's probably 20 to 30 meters high, and there's spotlights. So if you think about the construction of this, the engineering that went on, how they structured it to throw these shadows on the wall. Now, look at this Freemasonic symbol. You see the circle. There you go, right there. There's your circle. There's one arm. There's your other arm, there and there. Okay? You got a triangle here, here, and here. And then you got a triangle here, here, and here. And then you got a triangle pyramid here, here, and here, and here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 pyramid scenes. You've got wings of demons. Look over here. You can see the similar, especially this one right here. That's a nativity scene. That's supposed to be a sheep and a cow and the shepherds and the baby Jesus. But then if you look at Catholic imagery of nativity scenes,
yes,
it brings joy, not this darkness. So here it's pretty blatant that the angel of death, the angel of darkness, has overtaken Fatima. And then we got to go dig into the errors of Russia. Why did this? Basically saying, hey, errors of Russia have happened. It's.
Have you because this is very obvious here. Because as I told you, we will be running out of time very soon. It's amazing how quickly it has gone. But I have already got the notice, blah, blah, blah. So have you researched in other countries besides Fatima?
Everywhere I go, I see it. It's Francisco, it's mocking St. Francis. I saw that in Brazil yesterday in front of a Catholic church, a parish, and it had Francis's ecology. Are you kidding me? No. Laudato Si is simply the Vatican version, the Roman version of Agenda 21 from the United Nations Sustainable Development. So Francis represents what Father Fahey called organized naturalism. And you'll see this all over the world. I've seen it in Mexico, Texas, everywhere. I mean, you can go anywhere. I'll see it in Brazil, everywhere. All the churches and the new churches. A cathedral down the street from us, my father-in-law his father donated a 30-foot high crucifix made out of Brazilian hardwood. Absolutely most beautiful crucifix I've ever seen. They took it down and replaced it with the flying Jesus with no cross in the back. And they took it off and now they have a all-seeing eye on top of it. So it's everywhere. And I have I don't have thousands. I have dozens, if not hundreds, of photos. So I take every time I go, I see this. My wife sees it. Once you train your eye, it's everywhere. You can't miss it.
John, I thank you so much. We're running out of time. Would you agree to come back again to show us more?
Sure, whatever. I'm happy to help. I'm absolutely happy to help. You're doing a great service for all of us. And
thank you. Do you have any more very quickly? There was no, there was a crucifix. No. These are the pictures that you had ready for us today. Yeah. Yeah.
I have these. I didn't. The other ones I didn't put on because I didn't.
No.
I didn't think I had time to go over them.
Can you? Just in case we are cut off, I'll try to upgrade my Zoom thing so I don't have to worry about time. I apologize to you, and I apologize that we only have 40 minutes, and they are telling me that we've only been half an hour. I don't know why I'm getting these constant messages, but I thank you so very much, and we'll be in touch, and perhaps you can come again, in 2 weeks' time, whenever you want. Yeah.
Sure, I'm happy to help. Just let me know.
Show us more in other places that perhaps in the United States. Do you have pictures in Washington, D.C.?
Oh yes, I've been there. I've been into the Capitol, down to the basement. I've seen the cornerstone in U.S. Capitol. It says this nation was founded on Freemasonic principles. It doesn't say on Christian principles. It says Freemasonic principles.
Where is that? Where is that?
Not the U.S. Capitol. Yeah. There's no sign of Christianity in the Capitol. It's all Freemasons. So it's the U.S. is founded on Freemasonic principles. It says so. Every courthouse in the U.S. has the cornerstone is not Jesus Christ. It's the Freemasonic Lodge. So I mean, the U.S. is a Judeo-Masonic battering ram. It's a battering ram, and it was set up to be the battering ram. And so, as an American, I refuse it. I refuse to accept it any longer. We got to take it back.
John, again, thank you so very much. This is so evident, and this is so. I thank you so very much. Thank you again.
Yes, ma'am. You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.